What is going on, guys? This is Miasin, and today I will actually be showing you guys combos and the deck profile for the Brandish THERIONS or Sky Striker THERIONS deck, which I actually think is going to be tier 1 as soon as we get the THERIONS engine. I will make a video reviewing this engine very soon. And yes, this deck is very scary. It can make Omni Negates now. It also got a consistency boost with Sky Striker Linkage. So even if Phoenix Enforcer gets completely banned, it's not like Sky Striker became unplayable. And on top of that, there is a world in which maybe Konami might put Engage to 2 if other decks just keep getting better and better, and if the format becomes ridiculously power creeped. So this deck is always going to be very relevant, and today I will be showing you guys, exactly as I said, ways to play this deck very optimally. So before this video starts, make sure you like and subscribe, check me out on Twitch and Instagram, and with that being said, let's jump right into combo number 1. So assuming that you have this kind of hand, you know, Area 0 with not Ray but Rose and Regulus, usually if you would have Sky Striker, well, Ray and Area 0, you'd be able to do the trick where you do it on the Ray and then you tag out for the Shizuku or whatever, and then you excavate 3 and you don't have to, you know, waste anything for the field spell. But with Rose, it's not the same thing. It doesn't have that quick effect, so you're going to have to play differently. So normal summon the Rose and then make Hayate into Shizuku. You want to make Hayate or Kaina just to waste a Sky Striker Link monster and put it in the grave, because you need a machine in your graveyard so you can use the effect of Regulus, and that special summons itself back from the hand by equipping a machine from your graveyard to your spell and trap zone to it. And now you can actually send that Hayate that you just equipped in order to excavate a card with Area 0. Now I'm good at the game, of course. I'm getting Widow Anchor because I'm skillful. and face Shizuku, Surge the Engage, whatever. I mean, this is not really the important part. It's just really the interaction of being able to like recur back a card that you can send with Area 0. And on top of that, it's a reminder that Regulus sends itself from the monster zone to the graveyard so that it frees your main monster zone and you can start using your Widow Anchors. And that's the reason why Sky Striker THERIONS have been doing pretty well in the OCG. It's because that engine really helps the deck in more than one way. Like, it really covers so many flaws the deck used to have, like being able to protect yourself from Harpy's Feather Duster, Lightning Storm, etc. And it doesn't really clash with your strategy. Like I said, Widow Anchor is still utilizable. Let's get into combo number 2, which is a little bigger this time. A little bigger. I mean, it's Sky Striker, right? It's not a combo-heavy deck, but it's still interactions that you have to know in order to, you know, optimize your gameplay and make sure that you're not messing up things that you shouldn't be messing up. So, assuming that you have this, right? The field spell and Engage. Engage is not an ash bait. You don't want Engage to get ashed. However, the field spell definitely is an ash bait. By the way, a bait is a bad card trying to bait a good interruption so that your good cards can resolve. Some people don't know what that really means, so sometimes people are like, yeah, you can use, I don't know, Soul Charge as a bait for Ghost Bell so that your Monster Reborn can resolve. No, that's stupid. Nobody plays like that. Anyways, you're using the field spell, it gets ashed, all good in the hood. It negates the, well, it negates the effect, but it doesn't, like, you know, target and negate all of the effects of the card. So in other words, even if you couldn't search on activation, the effects of the field spell are still on live. And this seriously matters because it has some very broken effects that you're going to see in a while. So yeah, Engage is now going to be searching because my opponent had to use Ash on a card that gets me an Omni Negate and that can negate Ash anyways. So, I mean, you're always a winner. And now you're searching Ray, and then you're going into Hayate. Very interesting move here. You're going to crash, not even going to attack directly, and you're going to be using both effects of the field spell right now. So if your monster would be destroyed by battle, you can protect it by sending a THERIONS monster from your deck to the graveyard. And if a monster on the field is destroyed by battle, even your opponent's monsters, you can recycle back a THERIONS monster from the graveyard. So the synergy is just ridiculously cool here. And you can also send with Hayate, so you're sending the Rose because your opponent's Ray will come back and you can just, you know, revive back the Rose and negate it. So yeah, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, you can even play around Ghost Bell during the damage step because this is a trigger effects, and your opponent is also having he also has to use Ray. This is in Chainlink 3 because you're the turn player, so all your trigger effects will happen first. Well, will activate first, so they will happen last. In case that makes any sense, they will resolve last. Okay, this is proper syntax or whatever for the game. Anyways, you revive back the Rose, and then it gets immediately to negate the Ray, and then you whatever crash, or you don't even have to. You can make Zeke with the 2 monsters. Now Kigari recycle back Engage. You don't need Engage to do this play. Like, Ray or Rose would have been enough, but it's really just to show you how this play works. But anyways, now you're of course going for a Shizuku, and now you're equipping back Kigari, probably the best card that you can revive in a mirror match, because it means that Kigari will be in your graveyard a little less often so that your opponent cannot Shark Cannon to revive back your opponent's Kagari. And this is definitely a play that people will have to take into consideration in case Sky Striker Therions really does become extremely popular and everybody plays the deck. So, of course, you have your Omni Negate and you search on end phase. So many +1s, and you just were able to do so much with literally just 2 cards through an Ash. And this is the crazy part, is that I got Ashed and I still managed to do all of that. Absolutely crazy. And I was able to get to make my opponent lose Shizuku and Ray access. So my opponent only has Engage and I can negate it. Happy freaking Land City. Anyways, let's get into combo number 3 now. Yeah, I mean, to prove that you don't need Engage or whatever, it's just for some people that are visual and can't even, like, imagine things in their head, they really need to, like, see the thing in front of them. But yeah, whatever. So now I'm sending the Therions Regulus, and I'm going to be this is one of my favorite plays. Oh my, I love it so much. You're going to be special summoning Therions King Regulus by equipping Regulus from your graveyard to the Spell and Trap Zone. This is literally the most busted thing that you can do. Like, actually, I'm not even kidding you. The reason for that is because Regulus only has to send a Therions monster from your hand or face-up field to the graveyard to negate something. So, I don't know if you already guessed it, but if you have a face-up Therions Regulus in the main monster zone and one in the Spell and Trap Zone, you can send the one in the Spell and Trap Zone to activate the effect of the one in the main monster zone. So, in other words, with one single card, you actually have 2 Omni Negates. So, Shizuku Ash, and no thank you, I'm gonna go Nugate, and I still keep my Omni Negate. And I was able to successfully search, and I have whatever else. And my opponent is absolutely screwed because even if he has a way to, like, I don't know, break my board or something, I have a negate and I still have my other stuff. So again, hand traps just do nothing against this deck. This deck is just so much more resilient now. I want to say Sky Striker has probably never been this good. I am lying. When Engage was a 3, Sky Striker definitely was good, but at the same time, the deck is getting better and better and better, so it definitely is a step into a very, very bright direction. And the fact that just with one single card, you were able to accomplish this full this full play of having the double Omni Negate and the consistent recursion is absolutely ridiculous. So now let's get into the deck profile. Alright. So this is the deck list. I'm playing 3 Therions King Regulus with 3 Ray. No, sorry. I put too much enthusiasm in it. 3 Ray. And then 2 Rose, 3 Ash, 3 Ogre, 3 Veiler, 3 Imperm. Oh my, so much fun to look at, huh? Ah, yes, absolutely beautiful. This gives me cancer, man. Well, I mean, it's just, I don't know. I mean, I like it, but at the same time, I hate it. I feel like I feel like every Sky Striker player has that relationship with their deck. It's like a love-hate relationship. Like, I like my deck, but I hate the deck at the same time. Yes, I mean, sometimes you get bored of Ray, and sometimes Ray is Bay. It depends on the day. Wow, that actually rhymes. I'm so sick, man. Anyways, for the hand trap lineup, why am I playing these? Because I don't want to play 15 hand traps, but at the same time, I don't want to play like Chalice instead of Ghost Ogre, because Widow Anchor is basically Chalice, so I don't know, I didn't really feel like I needed that. And Ghost Ogre is probably going to be like, probably decent if this, you know, I mean, this deck is a deck from the future, so by the time we get this, we are going to have ban list, and maybe the current broken decks are going to be heavily nerfed, and maybe this card is going to be better. I don't freaking know. Just stop asking me questions that I don't know the answer to, even though you probably didn't ask any question because you're just watching this video thinking, okay, just get along with the deck profile, and that's exactly what I'm going to be doing. So I am playing 2 copies of Triple Tactic Talents for absolutely no reason. I can't really justify it. 1 Reinforcement of the Army to search through your Ray, sometimes Rose, I guess, if you already have Ray. Engage, Upstart Goblin Terraforming after Burner. Don't play Jamming Ways, I'm actually begging you, that card sucks ass. Triple Linkage, this card is broken. If you control no monsters in your main monster zone, send one other card you control to the graveyard. That is not a cost, so it triggers Area 0. And if you do special summon 1 Sky Striker Ace monster from your extra deck to the extra monster zone, and if you have at least 1 light and 1 dark Sky Striker Ace monster in your field and or graveyard, so in other words, these ones, the summon monster gains 1000 attack, which is pretty cool. And for the rest of the turn, after this card resolves, for the rest of the turn, so yeah, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck, except Sky Striker monsters. So in other words, it conflicts with Destiny Will Destroy Phoenix Enforcer, but it does not conflict with Regulus because, of course, this doesn't summon itself from the extra deck. So yeah, that's the reason why this card is just so good in this deck, to be honest. And it has also been seeing success in the OCG, as I explained like 10 billion times, and also showed in my OCG metagame breakdown. But yeah, this card is now once per turn, so you can easily OTK your opponent with this card. Not even kidding you. Anyways, Called by the Grave and Shark Cannon. Called by the Grave is already like a Shark Cannon, so I don't think you need like more than 1 Shark Cannon. but I'm always up to like changing my mind on these kind of ratios, so it's fine. Even the triple tactic talents is probably the card that I can justify the least in my entire deck. So apart from that, the majority of my deck list is things that I actually think people should be playing, even in these ratios. So 1 Hornet, Triple Widow, 1 Multi-Roll, 1 Area 0. Don't play more than 1, please. Things have changed. The deck is more consistent thanks to Linkage, so this card is no longer needed at 3. And on top of that, you have the 2 Colosseum Saucer. So if you're playing Terraforming with Area 0 and Saucer, you're fine. There is also a world in which you could be playing set rotation with Mystical Space Typhoon, so you give yourself the Colosseum Saucer with the Area 0 to your opponent, you go MST on the Area 0 that you gave to your opponent, and that summons a Ray from your deck. So I think it's pretty cool. It's a 2-card combo that gets you the full thing, just as if you had Ray and Regulus, but a little better because you get a lot of spells in the graveyard. You know, the set rotation, the jabbing waves or MST, pretty freaking nice. Anyways, 3 Imperm, and that's about it. So for the extra deck, Access Code, Selene, and Needle Fiber OTK combo, I think this is going to... This is not even that needed. That's the worst part, because the deck can OTK without these cards, as I said, with Linkage. Now, Phoenix, Double Zeke. I think the Double Zeke is also not needed. You can probably play Ningirsu instead. That really fixes a lot of issues that the deck has. By the way, speaking of issues, Regulus gains 700 attack when it is equipped with Regulus. So in other words, 28 plus 17 means that it has 3,500 attack, and it can crash on Ultimate Falcon. So that is a very, very easy way to out Ultimate Falcon. Very random thing that I had to say, but whatever. I mean, I guess it's a little bonus. Double Hayate one kinda sucks, to be honest. Kinda sucks. I love myself so much. I'm so freaking cool. Triple Kagari and Triple Shizuku. That's it. That's all for the extra deck. And for the idea section / side deck. This is not a proper side deck, by the way. I literally put in absolutely zero effort into that. Just ideas, really. Alpha could be okay, because it can return back itself to the hand, so you won't really have it to clog your main monster zone. I think because of that, it could be decent. Pancratops is the same. Like, it gets itself from the field to the graveyard to pop a card. So, very, very cool cards that you can send in, well, Sky Striker. Droll is actually a card that I don't really recommend to play, because when you're not playing like a combo deck, if you droll your opponent and you don't achieve enough, your opponent is going to just repeat the exact same next turn. So, I don't know if Droll is that great. Duster against back row deck, no shit. Double Sheared Right, that's a good card that people have been citing in Sky Striker heavy formats for the longest time. So this card is definitely logical to take into consideration, at least. Evenly matched in case Artifact Dagda with Lancia and all that bullshit dies off. And finally, Tikaboo, I see you. I don't think I would be main decking Tikaboo though. It conflicts a little too much with Regulus and Shizuku setup. That's pretty much it for my Brandish THERIONS combo deck profile video. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. Of course, don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace.